Playing as C00lkidd could be the most fun thing in the world. It could be the most painful thing known to man ever since Subway moved a 5 foot long. One thing we can all say is that basically all the moves are satisfying to hit. Take for example, Cool Kids walks with the override. Missing it will stun you, and allow the survivors to stun you after you missed it. But hitting it gives massive damage to it. Yes, massive. Plus if you dash into a wall, you'll be stunned instantly, and... so you can just slide off the wall? Alright, we can jump on the wall and not have to worry about him sliding off. Maybe we just ping? I mean, surely it wouldn't happen again. Okay, what the hell's going on here? Here, let me test some power saver. Alright, first goes on the wall, and then I go over here and just pop the override and... Gotcha! Oh! This is gonna be a problem. Now, if you want to know how to do this, first you gotta learn how to slide off walls. What I'm gonna call hug teching, named after the Dead by Daylight's hug tech.
Oh my god, dude, these flicks are so good. Oh my god.
Now, hug teching is pretty simple. All you're doing is using wall speed override at an angle when you're facing a wall. Now, you don't have to turn around when doing the hug tech. It doesn't really make a difference. But when it comes to the actual tech, then it makes sense for why you have to turn around. The thing to consideration when you're doing it is the angle that you're pointing your camera at. Because as you can see here, I go to this shirt here when I do it normally, at this angle. But if I aim a little more towards the wall, I'll get a lot more distance than I usually would have gotten. And you can see I'm really pushing the angle I'm at, and look at the distance that I get. It's insane. So that's how I think it works. Basically, here you are as C00lkidd, right? And then... And this here is your... This here is your wall, right? And because technically you're going this way, right? You've dashed this way. But because you're supposed to go going this way, but you're angled this way, you're gonna be smashing against this wall basically, you know, like non-stop, and you're just kind of sliding at a faster speed because you're supposed to be going this way. Your camera angle is going this way. That's how I think it works. Maybe you're wondering, like, what's the purpose of this? Like, I don't see any use of it. We can see, like, right here on Brandon Works, if this generator was not here, you can see across the entirety of this back wall, getting a nice surprise attack of someone. Or right here on glasses, which allows you to cover like, the entirety of this doorway with their lock speed override. Now, I've tried to see if, like, looking at different angles while doing the hug tech gives different results, but it's very consistent. I can't tell if either it does go further, or if it's just, like, the angle I'm at. Before we go any further, I just want to talk about Forsaken's hitboxes and how weird they are. And I despite elsewhere up and down how it's mostly just pinging hit by it. Mostly ping, I swear. There are certain cases where that's just not the case. For example, Jason, this guy's behind a whole wall. I'm able to swipe him up and get an easy gushing wind on him. And this isn't exclusive to just his gushing wind. It also works on his nose slashes and his behead. And other kills can do the same thing, but it's a lot more lenient due to how close the survivor has to be to the wall and how close you have to be to the wall as well. But if that's true, how come I would do stuff like this? So casually. Well, for starters, force is like a reset of hits. It's also how walk speed overrides hitbox works. His hitbox is pretty fucking massive, and he extrudes the outsides of his body. And the hitbox even stays consistent even if you're turning it around. If you saw Jundo's hitboxes work on his slashes, you would know that if you just turned around sometimes, it would allow you to get a hit in. So using the same logic with Kuga's Watch Me Override, you're able to do the same thing hit people through walls. Now if you want to stick it ready, or if you connect the dots inside the video, then you know just turning around while doing it will get you a guaranteed hit. However, you don't need to turn around, I just do it because it's kind of more reliable to hit the tech that way. But the question is, when would you realistically want to be using this tech? The trick is, I decided to bring along Mabel. Say hi, Mabel.
Hello? I'm Mabel.
Alright, shut up. Now me and my coworker Mabel will show you how to utilize this tech.
We've been married for 20 years.
Anyways, Mabel, if the kill was on its wall, which way would you run?
I'd run this way. I would hug this wall so I could see the killer.
That's right, you would hug the wall. And because of that, I'm gonna do my Watch Me Override, turn around, and get a hit. This would look like if it was in Chase. Here's how I look in Chase. Now, where would you run in this scenario, Mabel, if the kill's behind the wall?
I'd hug the wall, cause going off would be a bad pathing.
Yes, that's right. And because of that, again, I can end the Watch Me Override and get a hit.
Can I eat now?
What would I say if you asked that again? Before going any further, I gotta say that was just a bit. That's not for real. I don't have a wife, nor do I beat any wives. Back on top of it. Should you, a cool kid main, be using this tech? Honestly, nah. As cool as it may look, that's all it is. It's just looking cool. You should most likely be using it like more reliably by using it up close when you're next to them. But despite that, doesn't mean you can't be causing mayhem.